Hey everybody, Nick Espinosa, your chief security fanatic here, and today we have to talk about society because society is only free and open when the internet is. Now here's what's going on, and we have a very unfortunate example of this thanks to China, as you know, a huge surveillance state, but we'll get to that. Now this is coming from the Wall Street Journal. Here's what's going on. Chinese censors are crippling access to the country's Do Everything app for some users as part of a campaign to kill a discussion about a rare protest in Beijing. Now, this is an escalation of the Communist Party's drive to cleanse the country's internet of even the smallest hint of any kind of dissent against their rule. Now, this crackdown came after two banners condemning Chinese leader Xi Jinping were hung from a busy highway in Beijing, the capital, basically yesterday afternoon. A rare act of defiance, literally in the heart of the power, in the seat of the power of the Communist Party. And obviously it started to spread on social media. Now, hours after images of those banners began to circulate online, a large number of users reported losing access to WeChat. WeChat is that super app that basically is indispensable in daily life in China. Having been in China, yes, everybody, absolutely everybody that has the internet is on WeChat. Now, hundreds of complaints were posted in a customer service form run by WeChat's owner, Tencent, and that indicated that suspensions were imposed after users posted or reposted images of the protests basically to their contacts. Meaning, think about it on Facebook. You're putting out an image that says, I protest whatever it is, in this case, the leader of China, and all of your friends, all of your contacts are seeing that. That is what China's essentially doing. They're going to their Facebook, although, again, super app, and saying, oh, Nick shared this. Well, now you're cutting off Nick. You're possibly cutting off any contacts that saw this, shared this, downloaded this, all this kind of stuff. Some users, though, interestingly, online were offering desperate, if what circumspect, apologies. Now, one user referred to, and I quote, an incident this afternoon, end quote, and apologized for actually engaging in what the Wall Street Journal calls damaging behavior. Quote, please, I have been using this account for 10 years with many messages and pictures very precious to me. That is according to the user. Another wrote after losing WeChat access around 3 p.m. yesterday and confessed to have shared, quote, images that contained inappropriate content, end quote. Now, for the record, I have seen these images. It literally is a large banner written in Chinese on a bridge with cars, and that is the only thing that is basically getting these people banned, getting these people basically to apologize, to say, oh, I've done something wrong, that was inappropriate content. All it did was criticize the dear leader. Now, some curious internet users obviously were asking to see this because, well, you want to get in on the fun. One of the users that got banned responded, and I quote, you'd be better off knowing nothing about them. This really indicates the level of surveillance, the level of control that China has in their country. If I post something that says, oh, well, I disagree with Biden, for example, who is our president, and I get kicked off of everything, let's say apps I'm addicted to, the Facebooks of the world, now I'm saying, oh, well, I should have disagreed with Biden. I'm so sorry, that's inappropriate content. This is essentially what we're talking about. It's not how the United States run. You pick a political leader here, whether it's Biden, Trump, Obama, and all the way back, and you're going to get a million different opinions. Half of them hate the guy, half of them love the guy. That's normally how this goes, but we are free to talk about these things, and I'll get to that as well. Now, by Friday evening, China time, because obviously they're ahead of us here in the United States, Tencent's customer service forum on Weibo, which is basically Chinese Twitter, was no longer accessible either. Many users turned to a general forum run by Tencent to continue their petitions to try to get their accounts back online. Tencent did not respond to the Wall Street Journal for comment, nor did Beijing's Public Security Bureau respond to the Wall Street Journal either. And this is exactly what we are talking about. Understand the way a structured free society works. We have to have a free flow of ideas. The difference and the difficulty that we have here are a couple of different things. One, we know that while free speech should be free and open, there are limitations on free speech, meaning we cannot yell fire in a crowded theater to cause a panic that could potentially harm others. The other thing that I think is highly questionable under free speech is misinformation and disinformation. Now, also understand that the framework that we have here in the United States under the First Amendment for free expression basically protects us, the citizens, from being essentially quashed in this way from the government. But private corporations have the ability to censor or discriminate in that way as long as they see fit, providing they are not doing it along the lines of a protected class. Meaning, if I'm a minority that has a protected class, they cannot discriminate me and say, well, we banned Nick because he is that minority, in the same way that, they couldn't ban me for, let's say, my religion or my sexual orientation or anything else. But when we are looking at the Chinas of the world, they are looking at the Irans of the world, which are melting down right now, and saying, yes, we are on the right track for surveillance. My fear is that if we start to lose those democratic norms, we start to lose that ability to have freedom of expression. And again, this is not the same as me going on and saying, I hate the president, I want to kill the president, and all those kinds of things. You're not allowed to say those things. I do not say those things. That is an example, Secret Service, if you're watching this. But my point is that I have every right to criticize respectfully the government. And I think that's perfectly fine. And so here we are, and as I fear that we are seeing basically authoritarian, movements and all this kind of stuff around the globe. It's not just unique to the United States right now, that as they assume power or try to assume power, they're going to want to quash dissent. And so if we have laws that are changed, if we have democratic norms that are removed, we move closer and closer to what a China or a Russia does with their internet, not to mention North Korea and Iran. Iran moved as fast as they could to knock out WhatsApp and others to try to prevent the spread of information during their protests. And so this is an issue that we have. Now, I wrote an article in 2018 or so for Forbes called The Bifurcation of the Internet, of what the Internet's going to look like in 2028, where we have half the Internet being basically completely censored and surveilled by the Chinas and authoritarian governments of the world, and we have a free and open Internet in the West. But what is potentially making that or eroding the Western free and open Internet is potentially the rise of authoritarianism. So we're going to see where this goes. I think this is a huge problem that we have to talk about, but the last thing I think any of us want to be is China. If a society really is free and open, then you are free and open to express yourself as you see fit. Let's just all be respectful about it. We don't have to agree to understand. We can all have a say. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP, where you can tell me I'm an idiot, and I'm okay with that. It's free. Feel free. And as always, stay safe. Oh, and YouTube as well. You can always yell at me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private. Thanks, everyone.